Hi guys, just a quick C5 bookmarking guide. A couple of friends have asked me, how do I do it? How can I help you to prepare with our crab sessions? So this will be like a visual how-to of how I bookmark sites. It's not necessarily the most optimized way of doing it, it's just the way that I've always been taught. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So the first site we're going to do is the core Garrison. We're going to walk to that at 100. And the aim is to drop a ping bookmark before we've actually landed in the site. We may get lucky and be able to walk to the large collidable that we need. If not, we can use our perch that we've just made. So once we get within about 8,000 kilometers, we will drop that bookmark. So we'll drop it out now. We've landed in the site. Looks like we are too close, so we're going to have to use the ping bookmark. That's not a problem. That's why we've done it. We're going to walk to that now. Perfecto. And once the transition's done, we're going to look at the site. Now, the thing we want to bookmark here is coming off of this outpost hub. It will always be perpendicular to the reaction spire. So you want to go ahead and walk to that at 0. And what we want to do is we want to go in a sort of diagonal direction away from it. It's hard to see here because of a giant ball in the way. But if you can see the direction that I'm going, maybe a little bit more downwards. And the bookmark will be anywhere between 7,500 or 15, all depending on how your skills are with things like Tech 2 ammo, what your setup is. These bookmarks are optimized for Leshak, typically subcap ratting. If you're running a Dread setup, you will probably need a different set, but this is just the ones that have worked for me. So as we're kiting off, we're going to get our actual site bookmark ready. This will be the one that we actually use upon running said site. So this is site 1. It is a Garrison, and the sig for it is OHQ. So once we're about 15 off, is where we'll drop the bookmark. Only at 11. I apologize if you hear any kids in the background. There is a playground outside my window. 14. And 15. Perfect. We're going to do a similar strategy with the Stronghold. So we're going to walk to that at 100. We'll remove our ping bookmark for this site. We'll get another one ready for the next site. So again, once we come within 8,000 is where we'll drop the bookmark. Like so. Did we get lucky? We did not. So we're going to go ahead and walk to our ping. Once that transition has completed, we're going to look back at the site. Now with the Stronghold, there is a central structure and many gates coming off it, but what you will see immediately upon zooming in is it's quite slanted on one side, and that's great for us because that immediately tells us as to which one to look for. So we're not interested in these ones, we're interested in sort of the crowny static gates. And the one that we're looking for is the one that tips upwards. That's this side. And what we want to do is we want to look for the sentry tower next to it, which is always going to be here. And we're going to walk to that at 0. And upon landing, we are going to face away from the structure. And we're just going to double click in behind the sentry tower, and the bookmark will be dropped at about 15 again. So get the pre-bookmark ready, S2. This is a Stronghold, and the sig for it is 8ZG. In the meantime, I'll delete the perch that we just made. It's important to note, if you're not familiar with the mechanics, there is a ship in the game called a Zephyr that sleepers will not target. You can get into this. You can also use this to make bookmarks. It will make bookmarking faster. However, for me, I never have one in the hull, and the time it saves me isn't necessarily worth it. If I was bookmarking a ton of sites, then absolutely. But for just 1, 2, 3, 4, not for me. But it is a pretty ship. We're currently at 10. We're looking for 15. Important to note with this site, if you do have crappy skills, there is a sentry turret out here that is quite a range. I think shacks with sort of level 3, level 4 skills and a tracking computer, I think the furthest you can reach out to is 72. So just be mindful of that. So my advice here is just drop your bookmark in an area where you are happy to shoot that sentry turret. If you don't have that range, maybe drop it a little bit closer. Onwards to the next site. This one is the Oruze. I've just noticed that I've actually made bookmarks in here. So again, warp to this at 100, get ready to make a pre-ping bookmark. Which we've just dropped. I'm going to go ahead and warp to that bookmark. And with the Oruze, the actual structure in the middle, some people refer to it as a crushed bug. I'd like to think of it as more like a crushed plant. Zoom in to illustrate this. And the bit that we're looking for is this bit down here. We're going to go ahead and warp to it at 0. And upon landing, we are going to double click to the right, sort of like a 45-degree angle, if you want to call it that. And you're going to make your bookmark anywhere between 5 and 10 off of this. You could make it closer, however, you do run the risk of potentially having your ships land on top of the large collider ball, and that will potentially bounce one of your ships. And if you're running a very optimized setup where rep range is important, unfortunately, you'll be sending your ships to Valhalla. So we're just going to kite off until we're at about 5 kilometers. Anywhere between 5 and 10 if you want to be super, super safe. But I'll get the pre-bookmark ready. This is an Oruze, and the SIG is GSQ. There we go. And for the final site, the quarantine, all we've got to do is just warp to the actual site at 0. You can run this site without using a bookmark, however, just for optimized purposes of Tech 2 ammo, especially in shacks with a cult, just want to move forward just ever so slightly, and that's what we'll be doing here. We'll be landing in the site 0, and we'll just be moving forward maybe 10 kilometers. That's it. This also eliminates the risk of the transmission relay spawning within smart bomb range, which is probably a good night sweetheart moment for smart bombing shacks or nesters. So here is the quarantine. As I said, we're just going to move forward just a little bit. Once we're about 10 off of this beacon, that's where we'll drop the bookmark. So this is the quarantine. How big is this? I will put timestamps into the video afterwards so you can fast track as to which site you want to remind yourself on where to go, what to do. We're at 9 and 10. Mark done. And that's basically it, guys. If you have any questions or would like any support, my name is Urban Oxide in game. Feel free to hit me up with a message. If you've got any criticisms, let me know. And for now, take care. See you.